If this works, I'm legitimately American. Hello everyone, hope you're well, it's Barry here. Today I'm attempting to make a homemade Starbucks style blueberry scone. Stonking. So, some context by the aim... Yes, I popped to Starbucks earlier just for my sanity and for a coffee, and they do not do the blueberry scones here in the UK. I have had them before, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They are out of this world, and I've definitely had them in America. In fact, if you go to the Starbucks UK website, look, there is a selection of things on their menu, but you will notice the scone is not there. And yes, I indeed did go there and check for myself and ask someone, and said, no, we don't do them. But if you go to the US website, look, oh, the mega beast of blueberry and lemonness. But just before we get started, I want to have some deep scone talk. I don't know whether to call it a scone or a scone, but my nan always used to say it's not scone till it's gone, so I've always called them scones. Whenever I've done English scones, which I absolutely love here on the channel, people have gone, particularly Americans, I'm really sorry, oh my gosh, Barry, you're making biscuits, man, they're not scones, man, what are you doing, baby? And I'm like, okay, but I'm sure I went to Starbucks, and this is it, today, it's the same thing, you're rubbing the butter and the flour into it to create that nice, flaky texture, scone-like, that we can all love. Ooh. Right, so I recently did a lemon loaf cake from Starbucks, which was amazing, and this website that I found smells like delish. I think that's how it's called. That's quite an interesting website. It's all in American ingredients. Biscuits, man. So despite the internal battle in my head of converting cup sizes, other than that, I think we should be okay. It looks incredible. I have very handily converted the American biscuits, man, cup sizes, etc. into grams, so I'll read out both of them, so we can all jolly well have a global homemade Starbucks blueberry sconage. First up, you need some flour. This is 2 cups, which is also 240 grams. You need 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar, that's the more coarse sugar, compared to caster sugar, which is about 66 grams. Who's counting? Tablespoon of baking powder, pinch of salt, zest of a lemon. Actually said a tablespoon of lemon, I'm not gonna get you to weigh that out, just put in what you want. 1/2 cup of butter, which is 113 grams. 1 egg, that's cool, we've all got along. The whole world of food measurements has gone, right, cups, milliliters, grams, egg. 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream, double cream, that's what we call it, but milliliters of that is 160 ml. 1.5 cups of blueberries, they are in the fridge, so they're nice and firm, hopefully nice and fresh ones will hopefully help them seeping too much into the scone, is 300 grams. And finally, we're gonna actually make a bit of icing, so we've got some icing sugar and milk, which I'll show you at the end, if it even succeeds, which I'm sure it will. So there's the ingredients, let's go. It's amazing, you zest a lemon and it makes things smell amazing. I just sprinkled a little bit on Boston, a little bit on the neck. Just my top tip. First thing it's gonna go in, we're gonna get all the dry ingredients together. Classic, kind of like cake style-y. Plain flour, not self-raising, but we counter that with 1 tablespoon. That is a lot. All right, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Salt, sugar, lemon zest. We're gonna rub the butter in, but we've got to do something first. This is gonna be excessively used food pun. So we've got a grate butter. This is what this recipe is telling me to do. So normally with a scone, you do that step that I hate doing, that I've referred to in the past as the knee step, right? Where you rub the butter into the flour to give you that nice flaky texture. But you really rub it in, you push it right there. And I've got a gadget for that, of course. Now that's a mashed potato, that's a potato masher. It looks the same. Avocado tool, goldfish egg separator, hot dog slicer. No, it's fairly similar. Look, you've got the blades on it. This is like a pastry cutter blender thing, which you actually get away from the knee step. But this recipe, I've just got to check this. Because if this is legit, I am officially American, because the knee goes away. So it's telling me, use a box grater, grate the stick, not got a stick, sorry, of butter into the bowl of the mixed ingredients and just toss it together like a salad, so that the grated butter and flour just sort of integrate. And there was even a top tip. The grated butter does not have to completely be mixed with all of the flour. The grating makes the pieces small enough that the heat during the baking finishes the blending. Boston, what do you make of that? He's a bit freaked out. I'm gonna do it though, and if this works, I'm legitimately American. It's lazy but awesome. None of the knee. Wow. We're gonna grate the butter. That is oddly satisfying. Oh my gosh, but my hand is getting warm. Come on, oh look at that. That is wonderful. But that's still quite big, look at that. We'll go with it. Now I should have mixed this together, but I'm gonna force it in now this, so that it encourages me to mix a bit more. I am not gonna okay? I'm gonna stir quite a lot though. I do wanna at least get the strands of butter individually coated as much as possible to dry it out effectively and randomize it. I want to work the butter and the fats into all of it as even as possible, and it's looking a bit like classic suet that my nan would use. I'm so tempted just to put my hand, look, I want to rub that, look at that! But the argument is that it's going to melt and bond together, so we'll go with it. The whole previous approach of finally grinding it together has gone. Alright, so I guess there's no particular order to this. I'm just gonna shove it on in. And I love how when I'm doing a scone, this would normally be milk. But no, we're using cream. Oh my gosh. Apparently we don't overmix this as well. And to be fair to that flour, that has absorbed that quite nicely indeed. It's starting to come together like a dough, and that's exactly what we're after. I guess it's good when it kind of cleans the bowl for you. It's like sort of tacky. We've obviously got to get the blueberries in here. Now these have been washed and chilled, so they're still nice and firm. I don't mind them squishing, if we can keep them, because they do feel quite solid at the moment. Unlike that butter, which has gone to room temperature. And if you look at that, that's literally gone in there. It looks like some sort of weird puzzle at the moment. This is actually not as exciting as I thought, this step. It's actually a little bit clingy and gummy and horrible. So that's where the flour's going to help in a minute, because we really do need to shape this. And that's the thing, is it the butter continually melting to room temperature that's actually starting to go, oh no, hang on, you are going to need a bit more flour, because that is getting to the point where I feel like I'm like touching cake batter. Just a little bit at a time, and this is where I do this and it all falls out. But that is like the butter just, I don't know, weeping. It's like, I'm home, I'm free. I am happy with that, look. That's sort of tacky again, but it feels like by the second it's just getting more and more weepy. Stop it! I've just taken a moment to preheat my oven because we're nearly there, and I'm just looking at this. I've got quite a lot of flour to one hand here. I might need it. It just keeps changing the texture. Actually, to be fair, it's holding it. But now we need to shape it, which is the most important thing. My fear is we shape it into these triangles and they just go there. All right, my big board, and I just know I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm not gonna over flour it because we don't wanna go down that territory. Apparently we just pat this out into a disc. Apparently I pat it out with my hands rather than rolling it, which I'd much rather do, to the size of a small pizza. Now they've obviously not watched the channel when I did a mini pizza years ago, but this will do. It looks a little bit like an illness. Can I say that? Like it looks like a rash. But I mean, we can't deny there is some good stuff in there. And you've still got a very light lemony smell on there. The only thing I'm slightly worried about now is I'm gonna cut it and it might have stuck to the bottom. Amazing. A little bit, oh my gosh, that's really gummy. I mean, this is exactly how they do it in Starbucks, so I'm actually bursting a blueberry on that end of that one. Oh, but like I've said, folks, you can actually hide anything with icing. It's gonna look awesome. Just don't look at that bit, all right? This is going on the tray now. I'm a little bit worried about a couple of them. Look at the blueberry bulging out the side. Will they keep weeping? I've got high hopes for this one. The other one there is the other big chunky one. I had to put some more flour on because the blueberry's just like, oh my gosh, I'm free, this is amazing. Goes in the oven for 25 minutes. Let's put it in there, otherwise if we just leave them like that, it's just gonna keep weeping. Let's see what happens. Oh baby, look at that. They are all a bit mixed match shape-wise. They look like confused guitar plucks. They have warped. I'm not gonna lie, they're staying on the tray to cool down to firm up before we do the drizzle, which is gonna be amazing. But there are one or two that look absolutely incredible. In fact, the bigger ones have kind of flattened. It was kind of like the medium ones. So basically what I'm saying is if you cut it accurately, you'll probably be fine. I just made an icing. It gave me the choice of milk or cream with icing sugar, and yes, I had some cream left over. We went heavy. Got it to a consistency where it's pourable like this. So let's drench them. Drizzle, oh my gosh, right across there. Nice thick bands. I might go thinner on this other batch actually. That's come out way quicker, but as you can tell, it has been quite a fun little bodge this, and they smell so good. I'll tell you what folks, like I say, you can hide a lot with icing. Ta-da, look, 3 of them on a board, and if I squint my eye at it, I'm back in that well-known coffee shop that didn't sponsor this video. So I am going to taste one of these immediately. Not bad. That is outrageous. The zing of the lemon. Oh, the zing, the punch of the lemon. It's like bang, bang of the blueberries too. And the icing on top just gives it that little extra sweetened edge. It does still have that scony, sort of drier texture, but the blueberries burst through that. I bloomin' love it. And I think I might now be actually officially American via scone. So, this recipe wasn't mine, but I will actually type it up in my own words and reference the person that gave me this original concept. I was a bit worried about grating butter. It took us into places that I do not want to go again, but ultimately, I'm so happy. I'm back in the bucks of stars, munging on this scone, and it is exactly what I wanted. So thanks so much for watching. Please consider supporting the channel like these lovely patrons here on the screen right now. And of course, down below, there is a random video that YouTube selected for you to watch. So love you, algorithm. Cheers.